Hi guys, so you might recognise this character from the 1989 HeroQuest. This is Grak, the Orc warlord. So I'm going to do a little mini series of painting, well, the old miniatures, but obviously these are sort of reproduced 3D printed ones. So I'm going to do a little mini series of these, and obviously I'm going to start off with a good old Slapchop painting sort of technique. So we start by priming in black and then dry brushing in white. But those eagle-eyed one of you will notice that, yeah, I'm not using white. I've got this pale sand. And the reason is, well, I do so much slapchop painting, I've run out of white. And I've just yet to, well, replace it with some more white. So with this, you don't have to sort of prime in black. You could prime in a sort of dark colour and then do dry brushing with a light colour. I have tried different techniques of a whole variety of colours. And then it's simply a case of, yeah, painting it using, well, speed paints. Well, as you can see here, I've got some Green Stuff World dipping inks. There are a whole variety of other sort of paints. There's obviously the contrast paints by Citadel, as well as tons of others by other companies. But the ones that I always use are the Green Stuff World ones and the Army Painter ones, because they kindly sent me them. So as always, guys, whenever I mention any companies in my videos, whether I'm sponsored or not sponsored, I'm never told what to say or what to do or what to show. And if you've watched many of my videos, you'll know that I don't script any of my videos. I just literally talk over them and do a lot of waffling. But yeah, as you can see, obviously just going around painting the areas that need to be green, which obviously is this case, the lovely orc that's here. So yeah, I've been painting quite a lot of the sort of recent HeroQuest miniatures. But I've seen these, well, I saw these ones ages ago. And I've been wanting to paint them for such a long time that I'm now going to get around to painting them. So say this is going to be like a little mini series of painting loads of these, like the original looking 1989 HeroQuest miniatures. So these are 3D printed. I will show you in a minute where I get these from, or got these from. There's a link down below as well, and I'll also show you what printer that I'm using when I do sort of print these lovely little fellows. So they're gorgeous looking. So they come out really, really well. They're obviously the right scale, the right size. But as you can see as well, I'm putting them on bases. Now, this is something I don't normally do. I do normally like the clear bases. But these came with bases, and, well, I actually liked the look of the base. Because obviously it is like the stone floor, which is where these guys are going to kind of live. So obviously with the HeroQuest, you get the board, and, yeah, it is dungeon diving, which is what obviously I really, really love. So whenever I play Dungeons and Dragons, yeah, my preferred style of gameplay there again is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons. I want to be in a dungeon and I want my final boss to be a dragon. So that's why another reason why I do like the HeroQuest game so much, because obviously it all does take part, yeah, down in the depths of a dungeon, which is pretty cool. So yeah, with the painting of these, I say using, obviously as you can see, I am now using the good old combination of Green Stuff World dipping inks and the Army Painter paints. Typically before, for some reason, it's not OSD or OCD or whatever it is. But yeah, I could only ever use one brand of paints. No idea why. I just found it very difficult mixing them. But if you see my new paint rack system, I can only see the bottom of the paints, which is good because it means I can't tell whether it's a GSW or the other one. So yeah, I literally use all the paints. The one thing I will say though, if you do use the Army Painter speed paints and then go and use the Green Stuff World dipping inks, they are very different in their fluidity. Fluidity? Is that right? I think so. Their fluidity, their wateriness. The Green Stuff World ones are much more waterier, or much more fluid. Well, I kind of like that. Once you're used to it, because they do really pool really, really well in recesses. So you really get that nice contrast between the light and the dark. But yeah, the first time you use them, you could put too much on and the paint will just run everywhere. Anyway, enough waffling. Let's get back to obviously this guy. So yeah, no real sort of paint scheme to this. I've not even looked at the original sort of miniatures, or even like the miniature card to try and reproduce what they look like on the card. I've just gone with some colours that I kind of like the look of. So I'll pick this one first. You will see there's so many of these old HeroQuests from the 1989 version. But I'll start with this guy first because, well, it's an orc. So where else would I start other than an orc? And I say it's a great way of getting back into obviously painting these particular miniatures. But say with this this painting guide that I'm going to be doing on these miniatures, I'm going to go that little bit beyond the good old Slapchop painting technique. Something I always say I'm going to do is obviously do the Slapchop painting technique, It's a great base to get your miniatures painted. So they're no longer looking grey. They are obviously tabletop ready. But there's always something you can do a little bit more to them just to make them sort of pop that little bit more, really. And obviously, that's what I'm going to be showing you in this video. So I really enjoyed this chap. I say the bases, yeah, normally I steer away from bases. But the bases are really cool, although I have made them thinner. I think these bases were originally like 4.5 mil, nearly 5, and I've reduced them down to 3 mil just because, yeah, I don't like the bases to be sort of overpowering in miniatures, unless it is like a diorama kind of base where you're going to be putting a whole load of basing materials and grass and whatever else. So anyway, I'm waffling there. Back to the painting. So yeah, the paint's gone really well. Say the Green Stuff World ones, they are a lot wetter, but it just means they pool more. So you really do get that nice sharp contrast of the light and the dark, which is really good. So yeah, anyone new to painting or hasn't sort of come across the Slapchop painting technique, this has for me has been a real game changer. I started doing this kind of technique about 2 years ago. I know people are going to say, yeah, Griselle is the original sort of painting technique, which has been around hundreds of years, which is really good. And I know I am old, but I am not that old. So yeah, for me, I only came across this sort of technique a couple of years ago. Obviously, speed paints, yeah, you can just sort of put them straight over a white sort of primer, and they look great. But doing the priming in black and then the dry brush in white, it just makes them pop even more because obviously there are those darker areas. So this is them finished, and this is where typically I would be like, yeah, I'm happy, I'm pleased, I'm going to leave it there. But so this is where I'm going to go a little bit beyond the old Slapchop painting technique, and that is by adding some highlights. Very simple, very easy, very quick as well. So again, painting miniatures like this is super fast. But before we get on to that, let's show you where I got these miniatures from. And it's Monstrous Encounters over on My Mini Factory, somewhere I go quite a lot to get some miniatures. As you can see, yeah, they do a whole array of miniatures. They do a whole lot of the HeroQuest 1989 version ones, which I absolutely love. Plus, as well as doing like the main characters and the mobs, they also do the special characters, which is really great. So I printed this out on my Halo. It's the Halo X1. Absolutely love this printer. Very different from normal ones. And as you can see here, yeah, the resin vat rises. So rather than the base plate going down, the resin vat goes up. Yeah, very unique, very different. There's a video showing more of what this printer does. So it is an awesome printer. So yeah, with the highlights, this is something I always say whenever I do the Slapchop painting technique on my miniatures. I'll always say, oh yeah, I'll eventually get round to doing this to them. Yeah, that never happens. Obviously, there's so many miniatures to paint. Whenever I've painted a miniature, that's kind of it. That's it done. I never go back and add more, even though I have good intentions of going back and just sort of improving them here and there. So as you can see, yeah, I'm rubbish at doing highlights. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, yeah, you should be using a bigger brush because it'll have a better sort of tip on it or finer tip. Yeah, I need to get new glasses because my eyesight is poor. So that's kind of why I go with a smaller brush, because then if I do make mistakes, I'm hoping they're going to be less noticeable, which I know isn't always the way, because if you have a bigger brush, you get a finer pointy tip. So yeah, with my videos, guys, obviously I'm kind of showing you what I do. Take from these videos what you like. But yeah, I'm not going to be saying I'm the best at painting, because I definitely am not the best at painting. I'm just a guy sitting at a desk having fun, painting miniatures, obviously 3D printing miniatures, and in some videos I'm using laser engravers and all kinds of stuff. And some crazy people have sent me a CNC machine. Yeah, it's a bit beyond me, to be honest. But yeah, there's a video coming out relatively soon of me using a CNC machine, guys. Yeah, keep an eye out for that, because that is so much different from a 3D printer, obviously. But yeah, so this little video, yeah, just adding these little extra highlights, because what I always find with my painting, sometimes they can look a bit too dark and dingy. And I know I do say in a lot of videos, I do like that kind of look, especially for Space Marines. For some reason, Space Marines, I like them to look really down and dirty and been through the wars. But I think some of the D&D and HeroQuest miniatures, I do like them to look a little bit more, well, a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more colourful. So yeah, adding highlights is definitely a way of making a miniature look a little bit little bit fresher, a little bit newer, a little bit cleaner, and a little bit brighter. So that's definitely why with these HeroQuest miniatures, I will be going through, and yeah, I'll be doing this on all of them. So it'll be the Slapchop painting technique, and then we'll call it like Slapchop painting technique plus, going that little bit further than Slapchop, and just adding a few highlights here and there. As I say, this is where again, the more I do this, hopefully the better I get. I will try doing it with a bigger brush, but for the moment, yeah, I'm sticking with a small brush. But as you can see, the small brush, it does this thing accumulate quite a blob or globule or whatever it's called of paint on the very end. But hey ho, this is all about learning, practicing, and hopefully getting better, which I think I do. The thing is, guys, like I always say, I'm having fun. I say these miniatures, I've printed out a load of them. So yeah, so I'm going to be doing a little, say, mini series of these new HeroQuest miniatures, 1989. But obviously they are the 3D printed ones, as I can't afford to buy the old ones because some of the prices are absolutely nuts on what you can sort of pay for these old box sets, especially obviously if they're in mint condition and, well, miniatures haven't been painted at all. So again, yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of dry brushing, but well, not dry brushing. I'm going to do his teeth in this one. I'm sorry. Yeah, I need to get some white because I've run out of whites. Oh, I don't know, about a month or two ago. So yeah, I've been using this pale sand. So it isn't too bad, but obviously it doesn't give you the vibrant colour. Although I guess doing the orc's teeth, yeah, we don't want them to be too vibrant. He doesn't floss or clean his teeth, so they are going to look a little bit off. But so I love how these look. It doesn't take too long at all doing these few little extra highlights, but it really does make quite a difference. And it just makes them, yeah, a bit brighter. They pop a bit more. Yeah, guys, look away. I'm doing eyes. Normally I don't video myself doing eyes because I can't, and it's absolutely pants. Anyway, let's see this guy in all his glory. And there we go. That's Grak, the Orc Warlord. So the first of the HeroQuest 1989 version miniatures painted. And yeah, absolutely love how he's come out. So he looks really cool. Love the fact he's on a base. It saves me having to mess about with the clear ones. And I say I've got all these other lovely ones. So they are like the original looking ones. But the Monstrous Encounters, as well as doing obviously all the miniatures, they've done some of them to look like the actual box art, which is really cool. So I think some of these I'm going to be printing and painting and making them into like a little diorama of the front box, which is going to be pretty cool. So yeah, these are all the special characters, and obviously some of the original ones like the good old heroes are here. So yeah, guys, let me know which one you want to see me paint next. I will get round to all of them, I promise. So this will be a little mini series of the 1989 HeroQuest. But yeah, absolutely love painting this one. Love how they've come out. Check all the links out down below, guys. There's another video popping up on your screen soon. Give that a click, see more of what I do. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave comments down below. And I'll see you all you lovely guys in the next one. Bye now.